నమో నమః అందరికీ నమస్కారములు శుభోదయం సర్వేభ్యో నమో నమః నమస్కారః గురుభ్యో నమః టుడే is another day on yoga classes by Dr. CSR Prabhu garu. We will start this session with paying our respects to our country by reciting Vande Mataram. After that prarthana, that is request Chala Chitti Babu garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनीं पुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
వందే మాతరం. ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టి బాబు గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ. నౌ లెట్ us రిక్వెస్ట్ రాజ్యలక్ష్మి గారు టు చాంట్ ప్రార్థన ప్లీజ్.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. 1 minute meditation followed by 3 times Om. ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रवतु। ॐ श्री महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मां पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atidhi Devo Bhava. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktuhu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః హరి ఓం. ధన్యవాదములండి రాజ్యలక్ష్మి గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. నౌ లెట్ us request our Guruji, Dr. CSR Prabhu garu, to start the webinar, please.
Okay, today we will be covering the theoretical aspects which we have missed out all these days. We have given you notes. All of you have received notes or not? In addition to the textbooks, please confirm. Have they been given the notes, Colonel Babu?
Icchamandi, we have given.
Okay, but they have not. When is the exam?
Exam is in November, this month only, towards the end of this November.
Okay. So I will cover only theory today, because we have not covered any theory sessions till now. So the theory units contain many topics, like starting with the units of course. So only course 1 we will be doing. So in course 2 is not in your syllabus, it is advanced. So in course 1, we have unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in unit 1, we have what is called the definition of yoga. And unit 2, we have the origin of yoga. Unit 3, we have yoga in relation with Buddhism, Jainism, and other religions. And unit 4, we have Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Then we have one unit only on meditation and schools of meditation, including various traditions of meditation. So today I will cover briefly these topics, which you can read in the notes and prepare for the exam. I hope you have understood what I am saying. So I will start with definition of yoga. So the word yoga is not just doing some asanas, physical exercises, as we have been doing till now. Normally it is understood, the word yoga is understood as practicing some postures. It is not exactly like that. It is something much more bigger and much more extensive in its scope. So the word yoga comes from the root yujir in Vedas and yuj also in Vedas. Yuj means yoga, that is to join. Not Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga like that, but Yugala, that is two items together. So when two items together are joined, that is how the word we have samyoga, and we have prayoga, and we have viyoga. For example, the word viyoga means splitting. That means two items are originally separate, they became joint and then they are split. So yoga means joining basically. Yujir is also having that root. So we have this root huge used in the Vedas also. The word yoga is not there in the Vedas, which is the oldest text. Now, in the context of the root yuj, root means dhatu. Dhatu yuj. We have a mantra in the Ayurveda which talks about joining the mind. Yunjate mana. People join their minds. Who yunjate mana yunjate dhiyo vipraha. Vipraha. That means, it means jnanis. Brahmajnanis are those who know the Veda. They are called Vipras. So Viprasya Brihataha Vipaschitaha. Brihat is huge. The word Brahma comes from the word Brihat, which is being huge. So the totality. The total knowledge, that which has total knowledge is on one side, and those who have limited knowledge, Vipras, are on the other side, and they are joining their minds and their intellects with the Supreme Being, who is Brihataha Vipaschitaha, who is full of knowledge and is huge. Vihotra vahe vahina videka in mahi devasya savitu parishtuti. So that Supreme Being, who is brilliant and radiant like sun, we pray to him, we praise him. Yunjate mana uta yunjate dhiyo vipra viprasya brahataha vipaschitaha vihotra vahe vayuna videka in mahi devasya savituhu parishthutihi. So this mantra is in the Yajurveda, and many of these mantras found their way into the Upanishads. I discovered that this mantra and a few other mantras from Yajurveda dealing with yoga were compiled into the form of Upanishad, Sveta Upanishad. So the origin of yoga is from the Vedas, and then next level is the Upanishads. So I told you I have 108, we have 108 Upanishads. I have 108 Upanishads with me here, out of which 20 are Yoga Upanishads. 46 are Vedanta Upanishads. Out of 46, 10 are the principal Upanishads. That is Isha, Kena, Katha, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitareya, Aitareya, Prahadharanyaka. So now these 20 Yoga Upanishads have Upanishads by names like Yoga Tattva Upanishad, Yoga Chudamani Upanishad, Yoga Kundalini Upanishad, Nada Bindu Upanishad, Amruta Bindu Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad, and so on and so forth. So these Yoga Upanishads, in fact, I am covering in detail full one Yoga Upanishad on Sunday. There's a link I have put in the group, Amruta Bindu Upanishad. So these Yoga Upanishads, they deal with the system of yoga in detail, in depth. So these Yoga Upanishads are of much later origin than the principal Upanishads, but they are part of the total Upanishad system. Then the beyond the Upanishads, if you come down in the timeline, if you take archaeologically, historically, then the Indus Valley civilization. We have the Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kalibangan, Lothal, all these spots, sites, excavations performed, they do contain traces of yogasanas. The famous Pashupati seal contains Shiva in the posture of Siddhasana, surrounded by all different animals. And there are separate terracotta objects excavated and located in various sites, including Lothal, Dholavira, Kalibangan, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, of course, Mehergarh, and all these locations. In some locations, they could identify terracotta objects containing yogasanas, the same yogasanas which you have practiced and I have shown you. They are there in the Indus Valley civilization excavations. So we are talking of a neat 4,000 to 5,000 years of historical basis for the yoga postures, asanas. Then, of course, we have the post-Upanishadic period. We have the, of course, as regards the mapping of the Vedic period with the Indus Valley civilization, it is now confirmed. I'm giving a lecture on Saturday evening, where the Indus Valley civilization seals have been identified as Vedic extracts. So this is post-Veda, but it could be pre-Upanishad or pre-Brahmana, pre-Purana period of 4000 BC, so on. So now, coming back to the tracing of the yoga theory, post-Upanishads, we have the Puranas, and in the Puranas, we have mentioned description of yoga in many ways. Say in Puranas like Srimad Bhagavata Purana. Bhagavata is a Purana of Bhakti Yoga. But in the process, it will also talk about dhyana, meditation, and in general, pranayama is present in every single religious activity. If you start with Sandhya Vandanam, or if you take any Vedic ritual, or even Puranic ritual like Satchinarayana Katha, so there will be pranayama in it. So they will hold the nose and do pranayama, saying Om Bhur Om Bhuva Om Swaha Om Maha Om Viraha Om Tapha Om Satyam Om Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. So with this mantra, there is deep breathing from left nostril, exhalation to right nostril, left. This is the most essential step in every single Puranic ritual, like Satchinarayana Katha or Varalakshmi Vratam. You take any one of them. Sandhya Vandanam. So then, when it comes to dhyana, dhyana is also mentioned by giving a visualization of particular devata, like in Sandhya Vandanam, Mukta Vidrumahe Manila Dhavalachayir Mukhaistriya Kshanai Yuktam Indu Nivadharatnavagudam Sarvardha Sanja Gayatrim Abhayam Ankush Pasam Bhaje. So, and similarly, in Vishnu Sahasranamam, there is a visualization of Lord Vishnu. And in every Devata Upasana, there is a Dhyanam portion after pranayama. So we see that the yoga system, starting with the asana itself, pranayama, dharana means concentration, dhyana is either visualization or without vision, and finally samadhi is absorption. So the yogangas are explained in detail in all the Hindu rituals and in all levels. We have rituals at Vedic level, we have rituals at Puranic level, we have rituals at Smarta rituals. Vedikas, that is Srauta, Smarta, and Pauranika. In all the rituals, we have yoga embedded in it, is inherently very much integrated. So the entire Indian culture has yoga in its core, integrated with it. Now, coming down, we have the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, we have the evidences of yoga being practiced as a routine, as a normal way of life. People have done studies where they found that the Pandavas and other people are practicing yoga in one way or the other. And there are tapasvis, rishis who are indulging in yoga practices very commonly. And in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we have already covered once in my lectures on Bhagavad Gita, the yoga system is explained right from the asana level. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayannachalam sthiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan. So the asana is explained as erect position, sthiram sukham asanam. And then dhyana, dharana, dhyana is explained, pratyahara is explained. Of course, samadhi is explained. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Sarvabhutasthamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshinaha. So the core principles of yoga, as you know, every chapter in the Bhagavad Gita is one yoga. Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. We will explain all these yogas in a few minutes later. So the Bhagavad Gita is a core Yoga Shastra text. And that's why it is said in the conclusion, it is Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. So now, friends, the yoga is traceable from the Vedas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, and Puranas. Then we have the classical texts. Now, the classical texts of yoga, we have already covered the Yoga Darshana, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which are quite ancient. Patanjali was subsequent to Kapila. So the Yoga Sutras are the core foundational principles. Under the Darshana literature, Sutra period, where the entire subject of yoga is summarized in the form of sutras. And there the main objective was how to calm the mind, yogas chitta vritti nirodhaha, how to quieten the mind, how to resist the motion in the thoughts and mind. Chitta vrittis. There are 5 types of such chitta vrittis identified, and their details given, and how the procedure of calming the mind by resisting the distractions is explained in detail as Kriya Yoga, containing of the asanas, pranayama, the pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi were the highest level consummation of the yogic efforts, the absorption into the self. So when one is absorbed in the self, you will find yourself as one with God, Supreme Being, Sarvabhutasthamatmanam, Sarvabhutani Chatmani, Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma, Sarvatra Samadarshinaha, Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvancha Mai Pashyati, Tasyaham Na Pranasyami Sachame Na Pranashyati. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramoda. He who realizes oneself in all in oneself, he is liberated. So the Bhagavad Gita explanation of the Supreme Being as present as individual soul, individual beings, but actually there is only one being. The being became becoming. That is what Sri Aurobindo explains of the manifest, unmanifest interaction. Now, apart from this, we have many classical texts of yoga, like Hatha Yoga Pradipika I'm having here, which is a classical text of yoga around 10th century, 12th century AD by one Swatmarama Yogindra, who has written this book. He is a Telugu person. He has written it in Sanskrit. It is a textbook comprising of all Hatha Yoga techniques like asanas, pranayama, kriyas, everything in detail. They are explained in slokas, their practice procedure and their benefits, and up to samadhi, and the relation between Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. What is the relation between Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga? Hatam vina Raja, Rajam vina Hatha is not possible, he says. Without Hatha Yoga, the Raja Yoga will not be successful. And without Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga will be only physical. Physical is necessary but not sufficient. So therefore, Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga go hand in hand. Total yoga system comprises both Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Usually it is explained the first four rangas are Bahirangas, Yamani, Yamasana, Pranayama. So the Antarangas start with the Pranayama as a junction between the Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi are Antarangas. Internal organs of yoga. Anga is organ. They are not necessarily sequential. They can be parallel also, like Yamaniyamas or lifestyle practices. They cannot say until you are perfect in Yamaniyama, you cannot practice asanas. You keep on practicing asanas, keep on practicing Yamaniyamas, keep on practicing pranayama, keep on practicing pratyahara parallelly, one after the other. We cover all this in our course. We are offering a 3 months course, 6 months course for yoga teachers, certificate with government examination. These notes which are provided to you are for the 3 months course notes. So you can drop certain topics which are not related to you, but basic first few units are compulsory for all. Okay, now I will explain a little bit about yoga in connection with the of course, in the notes, you will find the quotations from the Upanishads about yoga. And in detail, it's a very high quality notes, which is prepared by us by compiling notes, which is being used in Annamala University, Sagar University, and other universities who are offering correspondence courses on yoga. Now I will go to the next unit, that is yoga in relation to other religions. So we will examine Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity in context of yoga system. In fact, what Lord Buddha practiced was nothing but yoga. He had practiced advanced pranayama leading to samadhi, and that is being explained in the Buddhist canon, the Tripitakas, Lalita Vistaram, and other texts. So Buddha's own sadhana was core yoga system. There is no doubt about this. And he taught yoga. He did not teach yoga exactly, but yoga was integrated as the what is called the Ashtanga Marga of the Buddhists. So Buddhism, Buddhist doctrines are core yoga system minus acceptance of Ishvara or God or Supreme Being. But the Yamaniyamas are at the core. So also Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi kind of practices. And of course, Buddhism, there are three types of Buddhism: the Hinayana, the Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Hinayana means Buddha is a teacher, not a god or anything. And that teacher is in Hinayana or Theravada is practiced in Sri Lanka. Even today, I also went to Sri Lanka. Buddha visited Sri Lanka 7 times and established Dharma Chakra Pravartana. After Sarnath, he did that in Sri Lanka also. So establishing the Dharma, Bodhi Dharma, Buddha Dharma. So that Dharma is again same as the original Dharma with certain flavors of Buddhist doctrines. So Dharma and Yoga are at the core of Buddhism. So that's why in our common framework of Dharma Yoga, we can easily accommodate Buddhism. And coming to Jainism, the Jain Tirthankaras and Mahavira and others. Of course, Jainism starts with Rishabhadeva, who has been referred explicitly in Srimad Bhagavata Purana, where Rishabhadeva is explained as one of the 24 avatars of Lord Vishnu. He is explained as a person who is a tapasvi, who was performing deep penance. So he is the originator of the Jaina doctrine, Jaina Dharma. And various Tirthankaras, you can see clearly, they are sitting in deep meditation, absorption, and samadhi in Padmasana. You can see any Jain Muni, you can see any Jain Tirthankara, they are in deep yoga state of dhyana and samadhi. Though they do not talk about Ishvara, they practice yoga. So yoga is at the core of Jainism. Because it's very obvious from their imagery of all these gurus, what are Tirthankaras and the other. Okay, next we go to the other religions like Islam and Christianity and Judaism and Zoroastrianism. So it so happens that the monotheism of Judaism, which is the parent of monotheism of Christianity and Islam, originates from the monotheism of Zoroastrianism. And the Zoroastrian text Pajandavas is closely related to the Rig Veda. So that way there is a connection. And as far as yoga is concerned, the Bhakti Yoga, the devotion is common across all these religions. They all accept God, Supreme Being, Ishvara, and they have practice. Of course, they do distort. I'm not saying their scriptures are perfect. There is a lot of distortion there about God or Ishvara. who is explained as Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, or whatever. Distortion to the extent of dilution, to the extent of corruption is also there. But the core devotion, bhakti, is the same thing. So bhakti yoga is exactly same in all these religions. Of course, in Sikhism, which is nothing but religion created to protect Hinduism, there is a lot of bhakti, nirakara bhakti. They pray to Omkara. Ek Omkar, Satnam, Karta, Ek Omkar, one Om, which is true word, the creator, like that. They personify an impersonal Om and pray to it in all the Gurudwaras. So, core principles are existing as common. That is why in Dharma Yoga framework, I have shown the commonness existing across religious doctrines and religious scriptures in terms of Dharma and Yoga as a whole, even theistic or atheistic, notwithstanding. So that is the discussion about the yoga in relation to other religions. You can see the unit on that. You can read it. It is elaborating these aspects which I told just now. Now I will go into the Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. As you know, in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters, and all the 18 chapters are explaining the different yogas, starting with Arjuna Vishada Yoga, which is of not much interest to us, ending with Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. In between, we have the Jnana Yoga, we have Karma Yoga, we have Bhakti Yoga, we have Dhyana Yoga, or Atma Samyama Yoga, Raj Yoga. So, these different yogas have been explained in the Bhagavad Gita itself. And Bhakti Yoga is explained in many other texts. Bhagavata Purana is a major source of Bhakti Yoga. Narada Bhakti Sutras is another important source. And Kachayana Bhakti Sutras are also there. So in Bhakti Yoga, there is a concept of Ishtadevata. You decide your Ishtadevata. It can be Krishna, for example, or it can be Rama also, it can be Shiva also, it can be Durga also, or it can be Saraswati also, it can be Lakshmi also, it can be Vishnu, Narayana, anything which you like. So the moment you choose your Ishtadevata, in the process of Bhakti Yoga, your Ishtadevata is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of your entire Upasana life, Sadhana life. You, like as Swami Vivekananda said, you will be so absorbed in your Ishtadevata, Mayeva Manadhatsva, Mayi Buddhim Niveshaya, Nivasishyasi Mayeva, Ataurdhvam Na Samshaya. Fix your mind in me, fix your intellect in me, you will be absorbed in me. If you cannot do that, by chance if you cannot do that, then you go for next level. Abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Practice meditation. Abhyasepya samardhosi matkarma paramo bhava. You are not fit for practice also. Perform all karma, all actions dedicated to me. If you say, I cannot dedicate to you because I don't even have belief in God or Ishtadevata, then Sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuruyata atmavan. Karma yoga of giving up attachment to the result of the action. So Karma Yoga is approved in Bhakti Yoga as a last option when you don't have faith. Bhakti Yoga is based on not just faith but total dedication. Bhakti is bhaja, that is to praise. All the Veda mantras are praising. All the Puranas, slokas of Ishtadevata are praising that particular Devata. Now, one very important thing to note is if you take the Ishtadevata concept, each person will have own Ishtadevata. Some people will like Rama as Ishtadevata, some people may like Krishna as Ishtadevata. Or within Krishna Bhaktas themselves, there are people who have the Krishna as a small boy, Bala Krishna. There are people who worship, who adore, who have the Ishtadevata as lover Krishna, like in the case of Radha, Radha Krishna. Or there are people who look at Krishna as Guru, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. So all these different Ishtadevatas are mental imagery of a particular character, particular Devata, subject, who may not be physically present or he may never have existed also. As in the case of Jesus Bhakti, Jesus never existed, but Christianity is based on Jesus Bhakti. So it is a mental imagery on an Ishtadevata, and we just have to be decent enough to respect the Ishtadevata of others. Because if others don't respect your Ishtadevata, if they attack you or if they try to convert you or force you, don't like it. Similarly, others won't like it. So we tolerate, accept other Ishtadevatas because it is the process that is important rather than the actual Devata. The process is Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga. So in the Vedas also, we have the Nirakara Bhakti Yoga. The Arya Samaj methodology, it shows one supreme being as behind all Veda mantras and all Veda Devatas are supposed to be the manifestation of the same supreme being. This is the Arya Samaj interpretation, top-down interpretation. You can have top-down or you can have bottom-up. Both meet at one point. If you take bottom-up interpretation to Devatas, you have Vayu Devata, Agni Devata, Bhu Devata, Prana Devata, and so on. There are about 800 Devatas in the entire Vedas. And all these Devatas are stutis, praises, explaining their functions, roles, responsibilities, and their what they can give to you. Like Bhu Devata, Bhu Suktam explains about earth. Bhu Devata. So everything is a Devata. So the Nirakara Bhakti, which is there in the Vedas, Veda Samhitas, got replaced by Saguna Bhakti and Sakara Bhakti later on in the Puranas in particular. So the Vedas, Upanishads do not explain any Sakara. They may partly give Saguna, like there are some Vedic suktas like Sri Suktam, where Lakshmi is depicted as being in a lotus, Padmasane, Padma Uru. So, Hiranyavarnam Harinim, being golden color. So, there is a Sakara Saguna trace in the Vedas, but those Sakara Saguna traces of Devatas become exemplified in the Puranas as Devatas who are being worshipped in the Sakara level. Lakshmi is worshipped in the Varalakshmi Vratam. So also Shiva is worshipped And Vishnu is worshipped in many forms. Rama, Krishna are all avatars of Vishnu. So the entire Hinduism has grown into a huge system from the roots of the Vedas and then the Puranas, of course. So the Bhakti Yoga and the Ishta Devata is again will have the Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, absorption. Like Mirabai was absorbed so deeply into the Lord. Even when she died, she collapsed in front of Dwarakadhish in Dwaraka, the spot where she got absorbed into the Lord is present. Similarly, in the Sri Rangam, our Lord got absorbed. They say both of them disappeared. Now there are many Bhakti Puranas, Shiva Purana, and also there are other books like Mahabhakta Vijayam. And Bhakti literature is vast in Sanskrit as well as in other languages like Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, like Andal of Srivilliputtur is Bhakti, supreme Parabhakti of Krishna or Narayana Vishnu by the daughter of Vishnu Chitta, Andal. So we have the ashrams given by her in Dhanurmasam, they are all chanted. So supreme bhakti to the extent of getting absorbed into the Ishta Devata. So this is Bhakti Yoga. I have explained you Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is basically love to the maximum extent. So if there is nothing in this world which you cannot conquer with love. If you love, of course, we all love our children, our grandchildren. If you love someone extremely, then that person will become totally captivated by you. So even Ishvara or Krishna, they get captivated. Bhaktyalabhyastvananyaya purusham sa parapartha bhaktyalabhyastvananyaya. Only through bhakti the Paramapurusha can be achieved. So this is about Bhakti Yoga. Now about Raja Yoga we have already discussed the Patanjali Yoga Sutras in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now Karma Yoga I have given you the basic concept just now. That is, you perform all actions without attachment or obsession to the result of those actions. That is, when you perform action, nobody can stop action. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jata tishthatya karma krut. Without action, even 1 second you cannot stay. Your breathing is on, your mind is on, your physiological processes are on. So yet, how can you be relieved from the effects of karma bandha? Every karma will result in bondage. The bondage is so strong that you are born out of it, you die out of it. Karma muna puttu janto, karma muna. You are born out of your karma's results, you die out of your karma's results. And throughout your life, you will be suffering or enjoying based on your karma's effects only. So, nobody can escape. But if you perform nishkama karma, that is, you have no interest in the results, you just do it for doing sake as a service. Like this course we are conducting, we have no interest in returns. We don't need money, we don't need anything. We are just doing it as a service. So also, when you perform karma only with a service-oriented approach, with no desires of any kind, then it is called Karma Yoga. You have to perform karma, but you perform it without attachment to the result, not without attachment to the work itself. If you have to perform the work perfectly, samyagachara, samyak, perfectly, correctly, you have to execute your karma, your duty, as decided by your dharma. Yet you will not be affected with the karma if you have no obsession, attachment, or desire of its results. Like Lord Krishna himself says, there is nothing for me to do in this world, but I still do everything as if I am interested. But I am not interested, but I do it for the sake of loka sangraharthaya. For the sake of the society. Service. So any action which you do, suppose you are a teacher, like I am a teacher right now. Why should I teach? If I teach only for getting money or getting some in return something, then it is a farce. If I teach as a service to the nation or to the people, Manava Seve, Madhava Seva, if I teach in that way, then it will be liberating. It will be purifying. Karma will be purifying and liberating. So also in Gurudwaras, they do what is called Kara Seva. So all these concepts of service without interest or desire in the results, that is called Karma Yoga. I hope it is very clear what is Karma Yoga. Of course, in third chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, it is explained in detail. We could not cover in our lectures, but I have given you the gist summary of it right now. Then coming to Jnana Yoga finally. The Jnana Yoga is based upon the concept of Supreme Jnana, Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of the ultimate truth, ultimate reality, or Atma Jnana. If you can achieve that, then you can be liberated. All the yogas are aimed at liberation, freedom. So in Jnana Yoga, the basic premise is that you are not Jiva, you are not an individual living being, but you are God, you are Supreme Being. So if you are Supreme Being, then where is the question of you are getting caught up by karma in bandha, or getting moksha out of bandha, because Supreme Being is already liberated. Aham deho nendriyanyantarangannahankara pranavargo na buddhi tarapatya kshetra vittadi dura sakshi nitya pratyagatma shivoham 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 soham deho devalaya prokto jivo deva sanatanaha. This body is a temple. This individual soul is actually the supreme soul. Tyajed ajnana nirmalyam, remove the nirmalya of ajnana. Soham bhavena pujayet, do the puja with soham bhava. I am he. The moment you get to know this, the moment, even if you get an inkling or even a touch of this, you are liberated on the spot. You are already liberated because the Supreme Being has no liberation. It is already Nitya, Suddha, Buddha, Mukta, Satya, Paramananda, Advidiya, Brahmatma. In the Jnana Yoga meditation, we have many texts like Atma Shatka, Nirvana Shatka, Mano Buddhya Hankara Chitta Dinaham, न त्वक्श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमर्न भूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवो आनन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् आनन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् आनन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. So that is one example. There is another very famous text for the Jnana Yoga meditation, that is by Vidyaranya Swami. You know, Vidyaranya is the founder of Vijayanagar Empire and Sringeri Peetham. He is the Peethadipati. And he has given a particular meditation technique, a text of rejecting the Dehatma Buddhi, that is, I am body. It's called Brahmavida Ashirvada Paddhati. हिरण्यगर्भादिस्थावरान्तेषु शरीरेषु यदेकं चैतन्यमस्ति तदेव अहमस्मीति दृढज्ञानसिद्धिर्भूयात्. Let me realize that one supreme truth, pure Satchidananda consciousness, which is existing in all beings, from Brahma to the amoeba. I am that. Nitya Suddha Buddha Mukta Satya Paramananda Advitiya Brahmatma Bhava Siddhir. Let me realize that I am Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Parama Ananda. Laya Vikshepa Kashaya Rahasvedebhyo Rakshitam Me Chittam Avignena Brahmanyavasthitam Bhuyat. Satya Nirvikara Asanga Advitiya Paripurna Satchidananda Hruswaprakasha Chidekarasa Brahmanabha Siddhir Bhuyat. Ahamadi Drishya Vilakshana Aprachaya Anubhuta Prachak Chinmatranabhava Siddhir Bhuyat. So Prachak Chinmatranabhava Siddhir Bhuyat. What does this mean? So let us analyze. Prachak means Prachaksha. Right now, anytime you are experiencing yourself, nobody can say, I don't exist, I don't know. Nobody can say that, because if somebody says, I don't exist, then I'll ask a question, who is saying that? Somebody should be there. So nobody can say I don't exist. So I exist for sure. So Sat Prakasha, you are Sat. Then who are you if you ask? You are Chit, you have to say, because you are conscious, you are intelligent, you are having ability to know. That is Chit, Chetana. So, and third is Ananda. That is, small babies who have not experienced anything in the outside world to get any happiness. They are happy on their own. You might have seen small babies, they are extremely happy on their own. So that they will be screaming with happiness. They will be smiling and jumping. Of course, they may also cry, but other than that, there is a state of happiness which is inherently there, naturally there. It is not induced by external objects or inputs coming from the external world. Sensory. It is not sensory. It is inherent Sahajananda. So, Ananda, Sat Chitta Ananda, your existence, your consciousness, and your happiness, bliss. So, you are Satchidananda. So, you are Satchidananda, so am I, and so is he, and so is she, and so is everyone. That is the true nature, and that is Pratyaksha. It is visible, experienceable from minute to minute, second to second. There is not a single second where you say, I don't know what happened, I did not exist. You always existed, you know it. So this realization that I am Chit Prakasha, Satchidananda, that is the pratyak ahamadi drishya vilakshana atma prachayanubhuta pratyak chinmatra anubhav siddhir bhuyat sajatiya vijatiya swagata bhayatarahita akhanda satchidananda anubhav siddhir bhuyat nitya shuddha buddha mukta satcha paramananda advitiya brahmanubhav siddhir bhuyat swagata diveda rahita satchidananda lakshana brahma bhinna kutastha pratyak swarupa Sarvasakshi Chitrupan Siddhirбhuya. This is already there, it's continuously happening. You are the observer, feeler, thinker. In meditation also, we can experience continuously. Swatmano Anyatvena Pratibhatam Sakalam. By falsely assigning, attributing something else to you. That is the objectification of the subject. You are the subject, not object. But you are objectifying the subject. Sakalam jag saksham jagat swam avidya virasitत्वेन संयत्वात् स्वात्म आत्मा अद्वितीय ब्रह्मात्मा अनुभव सिद्धिर्भूयात् यो ब्रह्मादि स्तंभ पर्यन्तानां सर्वेषां प्राणिनां देह मध्ये तत्तद् देह साक्षित्वेन भासमानः परिपूर्ण आत्मा अस्ति. That self which is there in every being everywhere, saha I am that Paramatma, I am that Paramatma, Kevalam Mumuksho Purushasya Me Swarupamityevam Rupatma Sakshatkaro Dhrudi Bhuyat. May realize strongly and be established in it always. When Adi Shankara, as a boy, reached his guru in Narmada Bank cave, the guru asked, "Who are you?" He answered, "I am Brahman, you are also Brahman." So he was admitted. Idam sarvam atmaiva pratiyamanam tu rupa rasadikam jagan mayamayam. Then what about this jagat is mayamayam? Natu edad vastutah asti. Actually, it does not exist. Vastutah nasti. Iti tattva nischayo me dhrudi bhuya. So this tattva is jnana yoga. Till now I have explained you what is the jnana yoga. So I have explained you everything. Now let us do some meditation on what I explained. Close your eyes and be in yourself. Oh. 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 So this is a Jnana Yoga meditation of identifying yourself with Om, Brahman, that is assertion of various statements of your not being the body and you are being only the supreme being, consciousness, Satchidananda. So I told you just now how you are actually Satchidananda, and so also he and I and all the thousands and lakhs of crores of beings. So are all identical Satchidananda. They are not the body or the attributes of the body like name, designation, Aadhaar number, PAN number, address, etc., which are all add-ons and subtracts on. So the pure consciousness, Satchidananda, is one and the same, exactly identical in all the upadhis. Just like one sunlight is reflected, one sun is reflected in all different bodies of water. So now the question arises whether all these are identical. We know they are all identical Satchidananda manifestations. So the question arises whether they are connected or not. So by common sense, like water, if you take water instances, millions and billions of instances, contaminations varying, but water is one and the same. In Gangotri or in Gaumukha or in Susen Sagar or in Musi River, water is the same, even though the contaminations are different. Similarly, space, Akasha, is the same in my room or your room, in Trump's room, in White House or in Putin's room. Space is one and the same, though the contents and contaminations, conditionings are varying. Similarly, the self is exactly the same, is one and only one, even though it is appearing to be different in different upadhis, like human, animal, plant, and inanimate objects. These are all upadhis, but the Satchidananda consciousness is one and the same in all. So the Paramatma, the total summation or sigma of all Atmas, is called Paramatma, and you are that Paramatma. And that's why he said, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Vyavasthitaha Aham Adincha Madhyancha Bhutanam Antayevacha. So the oneness is to be realized. Kam moha kashoka ekatvam anupashyataha. All problems in the world are coming due to lack of this realization of oneness. The moment you realize the oneness, you have love. You have nothing but love. So love will come out of realization of oneness. And that is the purpose of all sadhana, all yoga, all religions, all efforts, all spiritual practices. So once you realize that oneness and you develop universal love, so once you have universal love, endless, infinite love, then you are in liberation. You are already liberated. What is the time now? Hello?
7:40.
Okay. Shall we close here and open for questions, if any? Any topic or all the topics in yoga, theory, or other topics? I've given you the very deep essence summary towards the end today here.
Okay, ధన్యవాదములండి. Now, any questions from the audience?
Sir, I have questions about them, sir. Amar Singh. Sir, Sit Prakesa Bhasha, second Adhyay, Bhagavad Gita. Sit Prakesa Bhasha. So in that slok, God says about the Sit Pragya, and in the Karma Yoga, he says that you need to do the karma. So should we do karma or should we do dhyana? Like Sit Pragya Bhasha, where a Muni will be sitting in the meditation. So he will be always in the meditation, right?
No, always not possible. See, the physically, practically, meditation is a limited time factor. Okay, you cannot be always in meditation. So when you are outside meditation, like right now you are outside, right? Am I right?
Yes,
or are
sir.
you
No,
still in meditation? Just now we have come out of meditation. So when you are outside meditation, you will be doing so many things, right from basic things like going to bathroom and so on and so forth. We also do eating, talking, walking. So Pasyan, Srunvan, Sujan, Jigran, Nashwan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visajan, Grundhan, Mishan. We are also, eyelids are going up and down. So many activities are going on. So even though all these things are being done, a jnani, a sthita prajna, will not be affected. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya kesava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. How does he behave? What does he do? What does he talk? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. Just what I told just now, few minutes back in the last part of my lecture, to realize the Atman self in all and oneself in all and yourself, and therefore realize oneness, and therefore having universal love, infinite love. That is what is the behavior shown by a Muni, Jnani, Yogi, Bhakta, all finally merge into one. So that is the behavior. He will see oneness with everyone and everything. The moment you see oneness, you will have a love kind of response. So you see many saints, almost all saints, they are extremely affectionate and lovable. They love when you talk to them. They are in a highly affectionate and lovable interaction. And has no desires. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyeva atmana tushthastita prajnastadochate. Dukkeshu anudvignamana, you will not be perturbed with miserable situation. Sukheshu vigatas, you will not be extremely elated with favorable situation. Dukkeshu anudvignamana sukheshu vigatas praha vita raga bhaya krodha. You will not have raga, bhaya and krodha. Sthitadhi, he will be fixed. Sthita prajna means fixed intellect, like a rock. Muni, such a person is called Muni. So the purpose we are giving these lectures, what is the reason we are giving this course, is to make all of us into Munis, Sthita prajnas, in being in a state of moksha.
So then in the one of the slok it was already say बोला गया था कि sorry I talk in Hindi कि मुनि के लिए दिन होता है, सभी के लिए रात होती है, और योगी के लिए रात होता है, सभी के लिए दिन होता है.
इसका मतलब
meditation.
I'll explain that. You see, that sloka says, what is day for a Muni is a night for others, and what is night for others is day for Muni. So it appears as if it is saying that you should sleep whole day and wake up whole night to be Muni. That's not the correct interpretation. The correct interpretation is for the normal worldly people, जो चालाकी लोग है, जो सब लोग चालाकी लोग है ना, सो जिसको झूठ बोलना, फरेब करना, उल्लू बनाना, सब गलत काम जो करते हैं, ये सब सबके लिए, मामूली आदमी के लिए दिन के जैसा मामूली चीज है। और मुनि जैसा रहना, ध्यान में रहना, समाधि में रहना, प्रेम, विश्व प्रेम करना, आत्मा स्थित होना, ब्रह्म स्थित होना, ये सब उनको जानता नहीं, वो कुछ नहीं मालूम है उनको। ये रात जैसा है उनके लिए, समझे आप? तो मुनि के लिए उल्टा है। ये जो हमने बताया अभी, ध्यान का, आत्मानुभव का, ब्रह्मानुभव का, ब्रह्मात्मना, ये सब जो है, ये मुनि के लिए यही दिन है, यही हमेशा वो उसी।
रात है।
तो वो जो दुनियादारी है, दुनियादारी को रात कहा गया।
ओके, सो मतलब दुनियादारी को रात कहा गया और मुनि के लिए वो रात है। तो इसको, ये मार्ग में पहुंचने के लिए हमको अष्टांग योग एक मार्ग है, मतलब एक अष्टांग योग
अष्टांग
है।
योग, अष्टांग योग एक राजयोग, छठवीं 6 चैप्टर में जो बताया गया है वो एक है। और भक्ति योग भी है, कर्म योग भी है, ज्ञान योग भी है, सब आखिरी में मिल जाएंगे। पहले अलग अलग दिख रहे हैं, लेकिन सब मिल जाए, एक ही जगह जाए, तो दे कॉन्वर्ज।
मतलब वही फिर समाधि में आएंगे, समाधि के मतलब सहस्त्र में
हाँ,
7
सब
चक्रों को
मतलब
पार करके
सब ब्रह्म
सहस्त्र
ज्ञान
को
में,
जाएंगे।
ज्ञान में हाँ मिल जाएंगे। तो इसलिए बुद्ध भी हो, महावीर भी हो, ये सब जो उन्होंने बताया आखिरी में एक ही हो जाता है। तो धर्म योग,
समाधि में।
इसलिए मैं नाम दिया है धर्म योग, ऐसा नाम दिया है, सब के लिए एक कॉमन फ्रेमवर्क। और ये जो दूसरे लोग हैं, जैसे यहूदी और क्रिस्तानी और मुस्लिम, इनका भी भक्ति योग है, लेकिन वो काफी डिस्टॉर्ट का आ गया, पॉलिटिक्स आ गया उसमें, और कॉलोनाइजेशन के लिए युद्ध करना, सबको मारना पीटना, ये सब उसमें घुसाया गया है। तो यदि उसको निकाल देंगे तो आपको जो बच गया है वही भक्ति योग है, और कुछ नहीं है।
तो बिना बिना स्वार्थ की गई भक्ति को हम लोग बोल कर सकते हैं कि एक मार्ग होगा, बिना स्वार्थ की भक्ति, विदाउट, बिना स्वार्थ की जो भक्ति करेगा। भक्ति का मतलब ये भी नहीं कि खाली माला जप ले। करेक्ट
हाँ,
ना सर?
पहला आपको भगवान का समझ होना चाहिए, भगवान क्या है। अब आप शुरू में आप किसी भी भगवान को, इष्ट देवता को ले सकते हैं, जैसा कृष्ण, बाल कृष्ण को लिया, किसी ने राधा कृष्ण को लिया, किसी ने और कुछ लिया, और कुछ लिया, वो आग होते होते उस भक्ति योग में आखिर में एक ही परब्रह्म ओंकार वहां तक पहुंच जाए। सारे इष्ट देवता जो है ईश्वर के ही प्रतिरूप है। जैसा आपकी इच्छा है, जैसा आपकी मानना है, फेथ,
प्रकृति।
जो उसलिए हमारे पास हिंदू धर्म में पूरा डेमोक्रेटिक है। कोई भी कुछ भी, एक पत्थर को भी पूछ सकता है, या पेड़ को भी पूछ सकता है, ये पहाड़ को भी पूछ सकता है, लेकिन इसका मतलब नहीं कि वो ही आखिरी है। ये केवल द्वार है, इट्स अ गेटवे। तो थ्रू दैट गेटवे ही विल रीच द ओंकार, परब्रह्म।
So the
Anybody else?
ultimate aim of this, yeah, the ultimate aim of this life is to प्राप्त मोक्ष, like
हाँ,
समाधि।
मोक्ष, यदि मोक्ष नहीं पाएंगे तो आप दुख में रहेंगे और फिर पैदा होंगे। जब फिर पैदा होंगे, आपको पता नहीं किस तरह का पैदा होगी। आप पेड़ पौधे भी हो सकते हैं, जानवर भी हो सकते हैं, भ्रष्ट मानव भी हो सकते हैं। मानव में कितने प्रकार के हैं, एस्किमो भी है, और जंगलों में अफ्रीका में वो भी मानव है। आप कौन से मानव होंगे किसी को पता नहीं, किस किस टाइप के माँ बाप के पास आप पैदा होंगे आप पता नहीं। तो बिना पैदा होना ही सबसे अच्छा है। बिना पैदा होने के लिए पुनरावृत्ति रहिता। किसी आदमी मर गया तो उसका जो श्राद्ध कर्म कहते हैं, मासिक श्राद्ध या सालवा श्राद्ध, उसमें यही मंत्र पढ़ाया जाता है, पुनरावृत्ति रहित शाश्वत पर ब्रह्म लोके नित्य निवास प्राप्तिरस्तु। इसका ये बोला जा संकल्प लिया जा रहा है कि ये दोबारा न पैदा हो, वो हमेशा ब्रह्मलोक में रह जाए, इस तरह का संकल्प लिया जाता है। पुनरावृत्ति रहित शाश्वत ब्रह्मलोके नित्य निवास प्राप्तिरस्तु। जो आदमी मर गया है उसको यही कहा जाता है, मत वापस मत आना। वापस आएगा नहीं आएगा उसके ऊपर होता है, मतलब उसके कर्मों से, वासनाओं के संस्कारों के ऊपर आधारित होता है। तो यदि वो मोक्ष इस जन्म में जीते जीते जीवन मुक्ति पा लिया, हम ये कोर्स, ये लेक्चर्स इसीलिए लगाए कि आप जीते जीते मुक्ति पहुंच गए। यदि जीते जीते आप मोक्ष तक पहुंच गए, मुक्त हो, तो मरने के बाद तो मोक्ष ही होगा। तो जीवन मुक्ति सबसे अहम लक्ष्य है जीवन का। जब आप आप अपने आप को ब्रह्म बोल के पहचान लेंगे, हम ब्रह्मास्मि, तो आपका ना कोई बंध है, ना कोई मोक्ष है, ना कोई जन्म है, ना कोई मृत्यु है। न मे द्वेष रागौ न मे लोभ मोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्य भाव न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्ष चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम।
तो सर हम भगवत गीता को एक लाइन में बोलेंगे कि कर्म कर फल की इच्छा मत कर, कर्म मिलेगा एक टाइम।
हाँ, फल तो अपने आप हो जाएगा, आप इच्छा करेंगे क्या जरूरत है। आप कर्म ठीक करने के ऊपर आप जोर देना चाहिए, ताकि कर्म बराबर करें और उसका फल ऑटोमेटिक हो जाएगा। और उस फल पे आप संबंध ममता नहीं रखना चाहिए। न मामा, आप सुना है इस नाम को, न मामा, न मामा बोलते हैं। जैसे हवन में आहुति डाले बोलते
हाँ
हैं न
सर,
मामा,
नमा, हाँ,
न मामा,
नमा।
मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं चाहिए। तो जब न मामा कर दिया आपने, सबको छोड़ दिया, उसी को संन्यास बोलते हैं, सम्यक न्यास, सबको छोड़ना, लेकिन करते रहना, क्योंकि वो सेवा है। सेवा, मानव सेवा में माधव सेवा, सेवा के रूप में आप काम करते रहेंगे। कार सेवा, हर प्रकार की सेवा करते रहेंगे, बड़ों का सेवा। और जिस प्रकार का आपका आपका स्थिति हो जाएगी, जैसा आप, ये भी एक बहुत ऊंची प्रकार की सेवा है, जो लोगों को समझाना, ये ज्ञान को व्याप्ति करना, ज्ञान यज्ञ बोलते हैं इसको, हम जो कह रहे हैं अभी, इसको ज्ञान यज्ञ कहते हैं। ज्ञान यज्ञ चाप्यन्ये, गीता में भी इसको बताया गया है। ज्ञान यज्ञ एक उत्कृष्ट यज्ञ है। द्रव्य यज्ञ, हवन करना वगैरह द्रव्य यज्ञ है। द्रव्य यज्ञ, तपो यज्ञ, योग यज्ञ, तथा परे स्वाध्याय ज्ञान यज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितो व्रताः। सो ज्ञान यज्ञ, आप पहले आप ज्ञान को इकट्ठा कर लें, ज्ञानी बने और दूसरों को भी ज्ञान देंगे। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी काम है। इसका बहुत अवसर है। आजकल लोग ऐसे ऐसे परिस्थितियों में फंस जा रहे हैं, आगाज पाताल में फंस जा रहे हैं। तो दुनिया को ऊपर उठाने के लिए ज्ञानी लोगों के लिए बहुत जरूरी आवश्यकता है। तो आप पहले ज्ञानी बनिए और बाद में दूसरों को ज्ञान बटाइए। आप लेक्चर दीजिए, कोर्स दीजिए, जो आपने सीखा है, बराबर सीखा है गुरुओं से, उसी को देना चाहिए। जो हम कह रहे हैं सब हमारे गुरुओं से जो सीखा है उसी को दे रहे। हमारे गुरु कृपा से ही हम आज आपके सामने कुछ बता सक रहे हैं। उनके कृपा से हमने सीखा है, जो कुछ भी हमने सीखा है 50 साल पहले, वो हम आज सिखा रहे हैं। हमारे गुरु सब गुजर गए हैं, मोक्ष प्राप्ति हो गई, ब्रह्मलीन हो गए हैं, लेकिन हम आप उसी को, उनके ही आज्ञा से हम आज सिखा। उनका आज्ञा था कि गुरुओं का नाम लो और सिखाओ, सिखाते जाओ, योग सिखाओ, गीता सिखाओ, वेदांत सिखाओ, उपनिषद सिखाओ, वेद सिखाओ, ज्ञान सिखाओ। तो हम सिखाते जाए। तो यही बहुत बड़ा
धन्यवाद,
काम है,
धन्यवाद
बहुत
गुरु,
बड़ा काम। जी,
धन्यवाद। हाँ,
ओके, शारदा जी।
Namaskara, Mahodaya. I got two doubts. You told this Ishtadevatas are mental imagination, whereas Pada is considered to be avatara of Amavar, isn't it? Amsha, Amavari Amsha. Then how can it be mental imagination?
No. During the process of meditation, during the bhakti process, it is mental image.
Okay.
See, Rama lived long back, okay, in Treta Yuga. But now we are worshipping Rama. Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya, Vedase, Raghunadhaya, Nadhaya, Sitaya, Pataye Namaha. So what is this happening when I am chanting this? In my own mind, that image is coming, isn't it?
Okay, that way.
Yes.
And one more doubt. So another thing, Nirakara Upasana is difficult. So you Saguna Akara Upasana you practice, and even Bhagavan has told, no?
No, all are existing. Depending on the person, you can choose. Like this, for example, I gave you the example of Sikh. So they don't have any Sakara Upasana. They have one book, Guru Granth Sahib. You go to Gurudwara, then they will chant one mantra. Ek Onkar Satnam Karta, which means one Om, which is truth, word of truth, and which is the creator, which is everything. Like that it goes on. So they are performing the Nirguna Parabrahma Upasana. So, in fact, even the Judaism, Christianity and Islam are actually Nirguna Parabrahma only, but there is a lot of unnecessary distortion, making it a kind of a personality who has no form.
Okay.
So, this is all kind of distortion. So, if you go to the original source, which is from the Rigveda only, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. The truth is only one, but multiple ways. The Devata is the top down and bottom up. Both approaches are possible. Now, if you want to reach my house, if you see the Google Maps, you can start from the whole globe. Whole globe map will be there. Then within that India, then within that Hyderabad, then within that so and so location, within finally my house will be reached. This is top to bottom, right? Top down. So in the Nirguna Parabrahma, Om, that is a total, complete. So different levels are there in between. Countries there, cities there, like localities there, finally houses. Like that, different levels are finally Devata, Ishta Devata is the final level. So you can have even a plant as Ishta Devata. Tulsi is a plant. But Tulsi, through Tulsi, that is bottom up. So when you go bottom up, I told you top down till now. Bottom up means you start with my house, then you go to the next level in Google Maps, the whole locality, then to the next level, whole city, then to the next level, whole state, then to the next level, whole country, next to the finally whole globe. In the same way, I start with my Ishta Devata. My Ishta Devata, Mannasa Sri Jagannatho, Madguru Sri Jagat Guru, Madatma Sarvabhutatma. Like that, I start with my Ishta Devata and finally I elevate the Ishta Devata, expands to the universal Vishwarupa. I may start with Krishna as a single person with a Murali in his hand, Murali Krishna. Or I may have Balakrishna, or I may have Radha Krishna. Okay? And gradually Krishna shows his universal form, Vishwarupa. I showed you that day Vishwarupa in the lecture without image. You saw the entire Vishwarupa. That is bottom to top. So Krishna showed to Arjuna his Vishwarupa, universal form. So bottom to top, top to bottom. Both are possible. And both are actually valid and they merge. Next.
Okay, last question. We are already 8 o'clock. Srihariji.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
I have one question in Bhagavad Gita itself. In the chapter 9, 32 sloka, there is Mam hi parthavyapashritya episi papayonaya Striyo Vaishyas Tadha Sudras Tepi Yanti Parangati. So actually in the main crux of this is I understood without minding the jati, linga, or anything, who surrenders, they can attain the eternity like that. But he specifically mentions as Papa Yonah as three Vaishya.
No. That is not equal. It is karma. Papayonaha kama, striyaha kama, shudraha kama, and so on. Next sloka he will explain other souls. It is kamas, okay?
So specifically he is mentioning.
No. He will mention everything specifically. He has mentioned Brahmana, he has mentioned Rajanyaha. It's all kamas only. All different.
These three are not Papa Yonah.
No. He never put an equality sign there. It is a comma.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Okay, let's go for Prarthana now. Thank you, sir, for your lecture today. Rajalakshmi ji? Yeah.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्य पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्रा पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सदनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु
ధన్యవాదములండి. Thank you so much, Rajalakshmi garu. Now let's go for Janaganamana. Challa Chittibabu garu.
Okay, sir. जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद जय हिंद
జై హింద్. ధన్యవాదములండి చల్లా చిట్టిబాబు గారు. Thank you. Now let's close the session.